first thing that I would want to clarify, which most students come up to me and ask, is that this optional seems to be a lengthy optional. Why I'm starting with essay once again, because GS पेपर के साथ तो बहुत हमें भी पता है कि IR का ओवरलैप है, पॉलिटी का ओवरलैप है, and all such things. Making of the Indian Constitution. What is that? Polity, making of the Indian Constitution, polity में पढ़ते हो. Legacies of British rule. Yes, a different socio-political perspective. Yes, next would be the salient features of the Indian Constitution. Yes, the preamble, the fundamental rights and duties, the DPSP, the parliamentary system, and amendment procedure, judicial review, and the basic structure doctrine. Fine, so that needs to be discussed there with a lot of emphasis. वो important है. Yes, then you come to grassroots democracy. Once again, a very, very important topic. In fact, every year, one, at times two questions have also been asked from the topic of grassroots democracy, which once again has overlap with polity. ये सारे topics का overlap है for that matter. It's put forth as part of the French Revolution. However, in case of US model, what happens? There is indifference. State is indifferent towards religion. Yes, state is indifferent, says religion is the private sphere, state is the public sphere. There is no intermingling, none will interfere in each other. Therefore, you find that in certain states, है ना?
Congratulations on clearing UPSC 2024. Watching you succeed is really inspiring.
Thanks. I have been in your shoes. I know how overwhelming the start feels.
Exactly. There's so much to cover, I don't even know where to begin.
I felt the same. That's why I joined the GS Foundation course by Vision Eyes, which offers structured classes, expert faculty, and regular revision. It gave me clarity and momentum.
And you stayed consistent with it?
Yes, I followed the complete roadmap offered by the course. If you're aiming for 2026, start with this course. It offers you holistic coverage with every stage of the exam covered seamlessly. This is where your journey will truly begin.
Got it. I will definitely explore the course. Where can I find the details?
Just visit their website or call on the given numbers.
Good morning, all of you. Yes, I am Ayushi Agarwal, and I will also be taking up few sections, few parts of PSIR optional. So today we are here as part of the open session where the aim is to help you make the decision vis-a-vis choosing your optional. Yes, so that is the objective, that is the purpose, to give you some idea as to what this optional is about. Yes, through it we would try and you can try and gauge which is the optional which would be more suitable to you. I would like to begin my session with the first thing that I would want to clarify, which most students come up to me and ask, is that this optional seems to be a lengthy optional. Yes, generally the comparison is made with a number of other optionals, saying that this optional happens to be relatively lengthier. Yes, so should we go for this optional or not? As far as that concern is concerned, I would say, let me break the myth that this optional is long. This optional is not really long. Yes, in fact, this optional has multiple overlaps with your GS paper. It is really helpful when it comes to your essay paper, because we are studying a lot of concepts which comes to use when you write your essay. For example, see why I am starting with essay once again, because GS paper के साथ तो बहुत हमें भी पता है कि IR का overlap है, polity का overlap है and all such things. But generally what students miss out is that it's considerable help that we get as far as essay paper is also concerned. In fact, this year there was a question in essay saying that the battles are fought. Yes, the best way to fight a battle is to subdue your enemy without fighting. Yes, that is the best strategy to fight battles, win battles, is to subdue the enemy without fighting. Yes, so the idea is that you do not go for physical combat, you do not go for combative exchanges. Rather, you try and win the war, you try and secure the objective without firing a single bullet or without engaging in any adversarial relations. Yes, so it is in this context you find that essay could have been very well answered through the pol science topics that we discuss in the class. Yes, fine. So I was just telling, that I have just started my class, and I was just saying that as far as pol science as an optional is concerned, the primary concern vis-a-vis this optional that students have is that it is a very lengthy optional. है ना, जनरली जो बच्चे होते हैं वो यही आकर बताते हैं कि मैम शुड वी ऑप्ट फॉर दिस ऑप्शनल, आई एम इन डबल माइंड्स बिकॉज दिस इज अ लेंदियर ऑप्शनल. नाउ आई वाज जस्ट टेलिंग दैट in fact I consider it to be a myth, not a fact, that this is a lengthier optional. No, it is not a lengthier optional. Why? Because it has considerable overlap with GS. Yes, so much so that we popularly know that yes, polity में overlap है. Yes, IR में overlap है. Yes, so this is the popular perception. Modern history also, we study a bit of modern history as far as section B of paper 1, which I'm going to talk about now. Yes, so you find that there is a considerable overlap when it comes to GS. But what we tend to not focus much is that it also has good amount, it will aid you to write your essay papers. Yes, I was just telling this year's example, and there are several such examples. One example, this year's paper, the question was, the best strategy to win wars is to subdue your enemy without fighting. Yes, what does it mean? Is that the best way to win war is to win it without exchange, physical combat, without any combative exchange. Yes, the best way to win war is without firing a single bullet. Yes, that is the idea. Now, that idea can relate to, say, the trade wars also that go on. Yes, so rather than engaging in trade wars, if we can get our enemy accept what we want. Why do we fight war? To secure our objective. So if we can secure our objective without engaging in such a combative relation with the enemy, and if there is a student of pol science, you would have had good points to write in that, because we have thinkers such as Gramsci talking about it. You have concepts like deterrence, such as nuclear deterrence. Yes, what do we mean by deterrence? All these ideas could be very well used in writing that essay, making it a substantive essay. And being a student of pol science, you would very well be thorough in ideas as to where for that matter war becomes essential. है ना. तो there are, ठीक है, हमें, we know war has no victors. Yes, that is the traditional wisdom, but then there are certain circumstances where combat is in fact essential. You cannot let go of combat. For example, if there is a genocidal violence, the international community cannot be a silent spectator. And there has to be a decisive action in that course. If there is, say, terrorist attacks, cross-border terrorist attacks that have been going on in India, can we, we will maybe, you cannot say that this is my opinion, but then yes, there is a school of thought which says that we need to take combative action to deter the enemy, because we have to convince the enemy that there are going to be negative consequences, severe consequences, if you continue with such act. So basically we have good amount of points, both pro and against, and you can write a good essay. Yes, and this is just one example. We have several such examples. For example, there was a direct question that was asked once in these past 10, 12 years, that relevance of non-alignment in a multipolar world order. Who can write a better answer than maybe a student of pol science? Of course, the essay is not going to be a political science answer. You will not be quoting thinkers there, but you have to analyze that issue thoroughly. And when you have that knowledge, you are in a better position to do that. Yes, another essay which was asked in these years is fulfillment of new women is a myth. So we discuss this idea when we discuss the idea of feminism. Yes, so we will study the feminist school of thought and how previously it was thought that women should get civil and political rights, they should get equal citizenship. Yes, they should get right to vote. That should be sufficient. Then it was realized, no, maybe they need socio-economic rights. They should be educated. They should go to work. They should be financially secure. Then they will become, and they will enjoy the equal status in the society. But we find that even that has not translated into, because women are working. Relatively good amount of women are educated. Relatively, there is a good amount of women who are working also. Yes, but still then you find that she is not satisfied. Fulfillment of new women is a myth. So fulfillment का मतलब क्या है? Satisfaction, being happy, being blissful. So this new woman कौन है? Who's educated, who's financially independent, who has her mind of her own, and who can, as such, maybe she has sufficient knowledge to even maybe take decisions. But you find that fulfillment of this new woman continues to be a myth. So that idea is also explained by the radical feminists. They say, no, even then women is not fulfilled. Why? Because there is overwhelming patriarchy. And patriarchy has not only trained the minds of men, but they have had also an impact on women. Therefore, women are doubly burdened. That she feels that guilt of not doing the household chores while she might be working. So she is doubly burdened, rather triply burdened, because she also has to perform the reproductive role, which is ordained by nature. Yes, all such ideas which we discuss as part of our pol science discussion. The point is that helps you to write essay. Another example that comes off my mind is there was this essay asked in 2015. Can capitalism lead to inclusive growth? That is the entire discussion that we take place under liberalism. है ना, कार्ल मार्क्स का क्या पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू है, लिबरलिज्म का क्या कैसे इवॉल्व हुआ, neoliberalism has come about. Yes, so all that idea we need to discuss. And let me once again reiterate, of course, I'm not expecting that you write your pol science answers. You have to write an essay, not a GS answer, not a pol science answer. But when you are familiar with the concepts, when you know the nuances of these ideas, then you are able to put forth a better argument. Take the views of the scholars and write those views without quoting the scholars, with the relevant examples in a argumentative context. Okay, this is what capitalists said. The classical capitalist Adam Smith said so, but then Karl Marx said so, but then there was a thinker called Rousseau, he said so, but then Gramsci said so. So we know that argument that has transpired. So now you need to take that idea and write that idea without quoting the thinker. Make that idea your own. Yes, because that knowledge you have also gained. Take the relevant examples and write that essay in an argumentative format. Get good marks. Fine. So this idea that this paper is long is a gross misnomer, is a gross myth rather. What rather it is, you are going to study similar things across the GS and across your optional, if you happen to choose a political science. Yes, across two subjects, when you read the same topic, yes, you also bring in some different perspectives. For example, federalism. Yes. For example, center-state relations. For example, the various constitutional and non-constitutional bodies. Yes. For the example, secularism as an idea. For example, constitutional morality as an idea. This year also they have asked a question in GS for that matter on it. Yes. So when you do such study, what it helps, it makes, अगर एक ही चीज हम अलग अलग जगह से पढ़ें, यस, एज पार्ट ऑफ बोथ, है ना, जहाँ दोनों जगह रेलेवेंस है, ऐसा नहीं कि हम सिर्फ प्रोलिफरेशन ऑफ सोर्स कर रहे हैं. यस, फ्रॉम रेलेवेंट पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू, देन व्हाट हैपेंस, दैट इंफॉर्मेशन बिकम्स इनग्रेन्ड, इट बिकम्स पार्ट ऑफ आवर कॉमन सेंस, है ना. वी आर एबल टू अंडरस्टैंड दैट आइडिया मच बेटर. Fine. So that is the context in which we need to look at this paper, the optional subject of political science. Last point that I want to make vis-a-vis this subject is, first point was that it is not lengthy. I have given you the reasons why I think so. Yes. Second, it will help you consolidate your content, consolidate your understanding, which is very, very important. And the third issue, the third point which I wanted to tell as far as this optional is concerned, that this has been a popular optional in the past few years that we have seen, especially with change in the pattern. 2013 में जब mains का pattern change हुआ, since then it has become a popular optional. And we need to understand, nothing becomes popular without no reason. Yes, so there must be substantive reasons, as I have elaborated previously, as far as why you find that this optional has been relatively popular amongst students, because it is quite functional vis-a-vis rest of your exam, vis-a-vis, in fact, and not just say the mains stage, but also the interview stage. Interview stage में भी क्या होता है, and just let me just paint a picture. Now, interview stage में what happens is, the interviewer board will ask you questions based on what they have read in the newspaper in those few days, on that morning, on that very morning, or past few days में क्या चल रहा था newspaper में, उससे सवाल पूछे जाते हैं. And the other source is your DAF, detailed application form. So the DAF would be unique to each, and accordingly they'll ask question. And the other substantive source, there are only two sources. One is DAF, and other what is generally going on in the news. That is human tendency. What we have been hearing, that is the kind of questions we'll frame and ask. Yes. The third area from which a question might be asked is maybe your graduation background, post-graduation background, if you were in job. But that becomes very specific. And ज़रूरी नहीं है कि वहाँ से सवाल पूछा भी जाए until the interviewer himself is thorough in that subject. And thorough in the topics that you have studied or comes from the field that you are also from. Fine. So the prominent areas happen to be your DAF, and the most prominent area, in fact, because there will be 5 members. And the most prominent areas from which question is asked is what is going around in the world, current affair, newspaper में क्या चल रहा है. तो newspaper में चलता क्या है? What are the areas of focus basically? One is polity, the other is IR, and third is economics. Yes, so these are the 3 areas from which questions are asked as far as interview is also concerned. And these are the 3 primary areas: polity, IR, and economics. Economics, yes, you will have to. Economics is not part of political science. And yes, but ठीक है, फिर भी कुछ ideas है, capitalism, mercantilism वगैरह वगैरह. But anyways, economics we can keep aside. But as such, Polity and IR, once again, happens to be your core subjects as part of your optional. So once again, you will have greater depth, greater hold over those subjects. If a question is asked, you can answer them comparatively in a better way, है ना? Because you have studied that for the past 1 year and more. You will of course have a better grasp over it. Yes, so you find that this optional does help you across, है ना, across these patterns. Prelims maybe pehle, these days they are not doing it much, but previously they would pick one thinker and suddenly ask one idea of his or hers. Yes, तो वो एक ही सवाल होता था, है ना? Every 2-3 year they would ask one such question. And for political science students, because you would be familiar with that thinker and maybe other sociology वगैरह जहाँ पे वो thinkers पढ़ रहे हैं, तो if that thinker would be asked, you could easily answer that question in no time. So that is how this optional helps, and therefore I believe that it is not a lengthy optional. In fact, it is a misnomer because it has great, tremendous amount of overlap with GS. Fine. Fine. So the purpose of the session, as I was telling you, is to help you make a decision. I am painting a picture for ball science. Yes, but of course, you have to make up your mind choosing across the various optionals that UPSC offers. Yes, the basis of choosing an optional generally, and I'll just briefly mention interest in the subject. Interest in the subject is foremost criteria without which you should not choose the optional, because you will be requiring to study this optional for at least 2 years. Even if you clear the exam in the very first attempt, still more or less, है ना, 1 साल तो exam चलता है, 1 साल preparation चलता है. Yes, so more or less you will be studying this optional for 2 years, and generally you need to give second attempt, third attempt, and that means you will be studying this optional for 3 or 4 years continuously. And until and unless you have interest in the subject, you will not be motivated to study similar thing over and over again. Yes, so that is the idea. Next, as I told you, it should have some amount of overlap with GS. Yes, it helps because if supposedly, and very good if somebody takes mathematics or some other natural sciences, biology, zoology, yes, physics, chemistry as their optionals. But the problem that those students generally face is vis-a-vis GS, because there are two different preparations that has to be done, and how to write an social science answer is very different, and how to write such topics mein answers is very different, and natural sciences vagera mein. Fine, so that becomes a challenge. Essay generally becomes a challenge because they have to put in-depth study for that as well. Yes, though I also say that even when you have social sciences as your optional, essay cumulatively accounts for 250 marks. So you should invest 10 days at least of your preparation, and that is not much. Yes, where you do concerted preparation of essay. Yes, you are preparing the content, quotes, whatever, anecdotes. Then third is availability of content. You might have great amount of interest in the subject, but then if there is not substantive content available, according to UPSC's relevance point of view, it becomes very difficult to carry forward with the preparation you need, because there are so many thinkers and so many things that they have said. Somebody needs to narrow it down for you to tell you that this is relevant, this is what you study, this is what you can let go. Yes, next is the nature of the syllabus of the subject and PYQs. So you look into the nature of the syllabus, कि कैसा है syllabus exactly. Yes, and also the PYQs, are you looking at the syllabus? Can you relate it with PYQs? And the PYQs, जो हैं previous year questions, they are coming from the topics as they are mentioned, or they are those googly balls that have been thrown about. So you have to see कि हाँ अगर correlation है, you can see that correlation. Syllabus के हिसाब से ही सवाल पूछे जा रहे हैं. These are things which are covered as part of the general notes. Yes, then you can make a choice. Otherwise, if there is too much कि notes कुछ और है, question हर साल कुछ अलग format में आ रहे हैं, है ना, तो फिर it becomes difficult to catch up with preparation, because ultimately we are not here to become scholars of the subject. You are here to clear this exam called UPSC Civil Services Examination. So as things would be helpful, you need to go about doing that. Fine. So this is the basis. Foremost criteria happens to be interest. Overlap with GS will be very, very good. And then availability of content is also very, very important. Fine. Ma'am has already discussed section A of paper 1. I am discussing section B of paper 1 itself. Paper 2's discussion will be taken by another faculty. Yes, though we are doing section-wise discussion, but of course we will be teaching things across the sections. Fine. For the purpose of the open session, we are doing a section-wise discussion. Fine. Now the syllabus of IGP. The first topic, we'll just go through the syllabus quickly. The first topic is Indian nationalism. Indian nationalism कहाँ पढ़ते हैं? मॉडर्न हिस्ट्री में पढ़ते हैं. तो मॉडर्न हिस्ट्री आपको वैसे भी GS1 के लिए पढ़नी होती है. वही मॉडर्न हिस्ट्री आपको first topic of IGP and the peasant movement, the industrial workers movement वगैरह becomes important as far as pol science is concerned. So the political strategies of India's freedom struggle, constitutionalism too, कि moderates का क्या strategy था, yes, revolutionaries का क्या strategy था, yes, then Gandhi ji coming into the scene, making it a mass struggle, mass movement. So what was the non-cooperation movement? How is it different from the CDM, civil disobedience movement? Yes, and finally there was a Quit India movement. Yes, non-cooperation, civil disobedience, militant and revolutionary movements, peasant and workers movements. In fact, it is the peasant and workers movement which is generally quite important. Even this year, they have asked a question on peasant and workers movement. Fine. So within this, jabki pehle, when and prior to 2013, we could easily identify the important topics from which we would expect relatively regularly questions coming from political science. But now what has happened? Because fewer marks questions are asked, 10, 15, the highest mark is 20 marks question. So more number of questions are asked. Therefore, generally there is a thorough coverage of the syllabus. But still then there are some important areas from which questions are necessarily, and you can expect questions. Next is perspective on Indian national movement. Very, very important. Once again, यहाँ से कहाँ से सवाल आते हैं? The Dalit perspective happens to be very, very important. Yes, and the radical humanist perspective tends to be very, very important. Yes, having said that, you will be reading about the rest of the perspectives as well. But yes, we tend to focus more on these perspectives. So you find there is some predictability, some element of predictability that helps. Making of the Indian Constitution. What is that? Polity, making of the Indian Constitution, polity mein padhte ho. Legacies of British rule. Yes, a different socio-political perspective. Yes, next would be the salient features of the Indian Constitution. Yes, the preamble, the fundamental rights and duties, the DPSP, the parliamentary system, and amendment procedure, judicial review, and the basic structure doctrine. Fine. So this is, once again, this section itself, IGP stands for what? Indian government and politics. Yes, there is a huge amount of overlap with polity. Polity में generally क्या है, हम constitution पढ़ते हैं, है ना? The constitutional provisions है ना? फिर कुछ मेजर अगर लॉज हैं, है ना, सम मेजर लॉज इफ दे आर, फॉर एग्जांपल रिप्रेजेंटेशन ऑफ पीपल्स एक्ट, यस, तो वो मेजर लॉज पढ़ेंगे, उनके प्रोविजंस पढ़ेंगे, कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन के प्रोविजंस पढ़ेंगे. इस सेक्शन का नाम क्या है? इंडियन गवर्नमेंट एंड पॉलिटिक्स. सो इन दिस वी विल स्टडी अबाउट द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल प्रोविजंस. वी ऑल्सो स्टडी अबाउट देयर एप्लीकेबिलिटी एज फार एज द politics of the country is concerned. Of course, we do not get into party politics, but generally, कि हाँ president को ये power है, but reality में what are the powers that he enjoys? Governor को ये power है, but then there is this tussle that happens between the governor and his COM. Fine. So it's applicability, Indian government and politics. Yes, दो यहाँ पे भी ऐसा नहीं है कि पॉलिटी में सिर्फ कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल एकदम लीगल पर्सपेक्टिव से नहीं पढ़ा जाता. देयर ऑल्सो वी स्टडी द टसल्स वगैरह, बट यहाँ पे ज़्यादा है. यहाँ पे फॉर एग्जाम्पल वी विल स्टडी द पार्टी सिस्टम. So how party system has evolved, है ना? So what is the interlinkage between the economic policies and evolution of the party system? How in the backdrop of say the green revolution, the party system underwent a change. Fine. So all these ideas, pressure group politics, जो वहाँ पे भी है और यहाँ पे भी है. So you find all these ideas which have relevance in terms of as Indian government and politics is conducted. Fine. Salient features of the Indian Constitution. Next would be the principal organs of the union government, envisaged role, and the actual working of the executive, legislature, and the Supreme Court. The principal organs of the state government, once again, envisaged role and the actual working of the executive, legislature, and the high courts or the judiciary. Fine. So यहाँ पे we will study about executive में कौन आएगा, है ना? At the center level, president and the COM, है ना, council of minister, which is headed by the prime minister. So we will study कि है ना exactly क्या powers है president को vis-a-vis the COM, what is the relation between the two. Yes, then we will study about the legislature, the parliament, the decline of parliament theses. Yes, then when it comes to Supreme Court, we will talk about how is judicial appointment process, and what is this emphasis on judicial independence. Yes, so this tussle कि judicial independence तो होना चाहिए, है ना? Judiciary is going to be the arbitrator of disputes. Arbitrator of dispute even between center and state relation. Between, supposedly, it will give legal opinion as far as if there is difference between the president and his COM also if need be. And a constitution को भी interpret करेंगे. तो judiciary necessarily needs to be neutral. For neutrality, it needs to be independent. Yes. Now, independence is sacrosanct. But what about accountability? How do you strike that balance? In the name of independence, can we allow the judicial unaccountable powers? No, we cannot do that. How to ensure that the judiciary का neutrality के लिए judicial independence दिया है, but अगर judiciary is appointed by the executive, then judiciary will be obliged to the executive. And if the executive is going to decide the promotion of judiciary, yes, then the judiciary will be obliged to the executive. So this striking of balance between judicial independence, judicial accountability, and to ensure accountability, you need to make appointments free from executive. Yes, so that is the opinion which was taken by the judiciary itself. और इस वजह से क्या हुआ, judiciary बहुत extraordinary power concentrate करने लग गई. Yes, because it became completely independent and it has become a sort of an unaccountable body. Yes, so this creates problem that judiciary cannot simply appoint itself. There has to be some check. There has to be this judicial independence needs to be balanced with some sort of judicial accountability. That entire debate we will study. We will study ideas like judicial activism. Yes. Judicial activism and judicial overreach. What is the difference between the two? Yes, the idea of judicial review. All these are important. Basic structure doctrine that we mentioned previously. Once again, very, very important. So all that needs to be studied. As far as principal organs of the state government, we do not go into nuances of the state government because more or less it follows the same scheme of things. But past few years, past 2-3 years, in fact, they've asked simple question. One question has been repeatedly that has been asked is relevance of state legislative council. And a state legislative assembly har jagah hai. There is bicameralism at the central level. Bicameralism का मतलब क्या है? There are two houses of legislature. Yes, there is Lok Sabha, there is Rajya Sabha, but this bicameralism has not been made mandatory at the state level. So at the state level, of course, they will have a state legislative assembly. But if the state wants, so they can have state legislative council. If they do not want, they cannot have, they may not have state legislative council. So it has been left to the state to decide that do they want state legislative council or not. Now, in case, but what is the relevance of state legislative council if they were to be created? है ना, तो उस पे UPSC ने 10 markers they have asked twice, and generally what we emphasize when it comes to the state level government is governor. Yes, so what is going to be the envisaged role of governor? What is the actual role of the governor? What is this discussion that has been going on in the judiciary? And अभी काफ़ी ये discussion चल रहा है from the past year that under Article 200, if you're reading the newspapers, under Article 200, what is the power that the governor has? Does the governor have the power to apply a veto, a pocket veto of sorts on the bill? Can he send the bill to the president? Yes, what is the exact correlation that happens there? Fine, so that needs to be discussed there with a lot of emphasis. वो important है. Yes, then you come to grassroots democracy. Once again, a very, very important topic. In fact, every year, one, at times two questions have also been asked from the topic of grassroots democracy, which once again has overlap with polity. ये सारे topics का overlap है for that matter. Panchayati Raj, municipality government, you have significance of 73rd and 74th Constitutional Amendment Act and the grassroots movements. Yes, democratic decentralization, grassroots democracy, ये सारे क्या concepts हैं, क्या मतलब है, the principle of subsidiarity वगैरह हम इसमें discuss करते हैं. Fine, next is statutory institutions or commissions. Yes, so they have a list of bodies that needs to be studied: Election Commission, CAG, Finance Commission, Union Public Service Commission, National Commission for Scheduled Caste, National Commission for Scheduled Tribes, National Commission for Women, National Human Rights Commission, National Commission for Minorities, and National Backward Class Commissions. All these topics are also part of your GS. Yes, maybe except the National Commission for Minorities and National Commission for Women. And ये दो topics have not been specifically mentioned as part of your GS syllabus, but rest are there in your GS syllabus. Now, what is the difference between when we read this topic under GS and when we read it under political science? So under GS, we will look into the body. What are the expected function and what has been the real performance, है ना, इसका composition, membership कैसा है, membership का appointment कैसा है, all that discussion we do. But when it comes to political science, we will link it with the thinkers concerned. Yes, so we are talking about CAG. We'll try and bring in Kautilya's idea that till the time the corruption is but obvious. So if somebody, if sweet has been put on somebody's tongue, it is but obvious that they will taste it. Yes, so corruption will happen, but the extent of corruption needs to be checked. Fine, so all such ideas कि हम कौटिल्य को ला रहे हैं या मैकियावेली का आइडिया ला रहे हैं by chance. Yes, so we will have to link it with जहाँ पे possibility है वहाँ पे thinkers के साथ link करना है. Yes, so that is the difference, but otherwise जो GS में पढ़ते हैं उतना तो पढ़ना ही है. Yes, next is federalism. Once again, a very, very important topic, discussion about center-state relation. Center-state relation में, for example, how the GST law has become a center-state issue. Yes, NEET, National Eligibility Entrance Test, for medical students, so that had also at one point of time become a center-state issue. Governor happens to be a center-state issue. Governor who is expected to be the constitutional head of the state, but generally he acts like an agent of center. Yes, carrying the center's mandate at the state level. Yes, so this complicates the relation. तो ये सब हमें यहाँ पे discuss करना है. तो what are the constitutional provisions, है ना? तो फाइनेंशियल डोमेन में, एग्जीक्यूटिव डोमेन में, लेजिस्लेटिव डोमेन में क्या है? चेंजिंग नेचर ऑफ सेंटर स्टेट रिलेशन, इंटीग्रेशनिस्ट टेंडेंसीज एंड रीजनल एस्पिरेशंस। ठीक है, तो रीजनल एस्पिरेशंस, द वेरियस सेसेशनिस्ट मूवमेंट्स दैट हैपन, है ना, इंडिपेंडेंस मूवमेंट जैसे पहले हुआ करते थे, द ग्रेटर नागालैंड मूवमेंट, अभी देयर हैज़ बीन it was going on in news last year, the Khalistan movement. Yes, so we will look into all these issues. Yes, and what is the solution to it? How India has tackled all this movements that have gone about. Yes, and how India stands out as a very successful example, a very good example, which has very well been able to tackle these movements. Unlike, say, other countries, for example, Sri Lanka's, there was a civil war based on Tamil and Sinhalese nationalism, and which waged for 40 years, and which came to an end with the civil war coming to an end, where LTTE के जो head थे, he was killed. He, Prabhakaran, and his son were killed. Yes, in 2009. So you find that how that is different from how we have. Has there been any such civil war that has happened in case of India? No, we have been a very successful example. We have tackled these challenges, these ethnic movements as such very well. Yes, why? Because constitutional provisions are such. Yes, and there is no written framework, but there is by convention a framework exists as to how we tackle these challenges, and it is a brilliant, very good example. We are an outlier in it. Then is planning and economic development. So what was the Nehruvian model, Gandhian model of development, role of planning, public sector, ग्रीन रेवोल्यूशन? वंस अगेन, ग्रीन रेवोल्यूशन से कई बार जीएस में भी सवाल आता है, बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट टॉपिक है ये. लैंड रिफॉर्म, एग्रेरियन रिफॉर्म, वंस अगेन जीएस 1 के टॉपिक से ये. लिबरलाइजेशन एंड इकोनॉमिक रिफॉर्म, जीएस पेपर 3 का टॉपिक है ये. Yes, so we will study it here also, liberalization and economic reform. You will study the theoretical perspective in section A also of paper 1. We will once again study it as part of paper 2 as well, section A of paper 2. Fine, so you will get a thorough understanding of what is liberalization and economic reform in context of Indian politics, in context of theory, how it has come about, and at level of international level, how it has played about. Yes, so what is the theory behind it, and what are, has it led to development of all or not? What is the current situation? Is bar, for example, there was much discussion also, and GS2 में सवाल भी आया है, with waning of globalization, with the decline of globalization, national sovereign nationalism is on rise. Yes, so we study that. ये हम थियोरी में सेक्शन ए से ही पढ़ना शुरू करेंगे वो, और वो चलता रहेगा, है ना. सेक्शन ए ऑफ पेपर 2 में भी पढ़ेंगे वही चीज़. फाइन. देन कास्ट, रिलीजन एंड एथनिसिटी इन इंडियन पॉलिटिक्स. सो व्हाट इज़ द रोल ऑफ द कास्ट फैक्टर इन इंडियन पॉलिटिक्स? रिलीजन या कम्यूनल फैक्टर का क्या रोल है इंडियन पॉलिटिक्स में? एंड वंस अगेन एथनिसिटी. ठीक है, तो वी आर what is India? India is what kind of a nation? Are we a nation state or are we a nation? We are not a nation. In fact, it is a trick question. We are not a nation. Yes, we comprise many nations. Are we a nation state? अगर nation ही नहीं है तो nation state कैसे होंगे? तो एक नया term आया है state nation. हम state nation है ना. हमारा state, because there is India, there is one country, on based of that there is some sense of belonging amongst all of us. Otherwise, as a Gujarati I am different, as a Marathi you are different, as a Telugu he is a different, as a Malayali he is different. Yes, all this constitute nations in themselves. So India is a multinational country. We comprise many nations. Yes, so और हमारा basis of nationality क्या है? Ethnicity है. ठीक है, तो मैं अगर गुजराती हूँ, मराठी हूँ, राजस्थानी हूँ, एसमीज हूँ, मणिपुरी हूँ, कोंकणी हूँ, दैट इज़ द बेसिस ऑफ माई नेशनलिज्म. नेशनलिज्म क्या है? ग्रुप ऑफ, है ना, एथनो लिंग्विस्टिकली सिमिलर पीपल, है ना, जिनका रेस सिमिलर है, लैंग्वेज स्पोकन सिमिलर है. यस, और सेंस ऑफ बिलोंगिंग है। तो अगर ये बहुत बड़ा क्लासरूम होता है, यहाँ पे मानो अगर 500 बच्चे बैठे होते अभी क्लास में, तो यू वुड ऑटोमेटिकली सी ग्रुप्स फॉर्मिंग. So the Biharis would sit together, the Telugus would sit together, the Malayalis would sit together, the Tamilians and the Rajasthanis would sit together. So automatically these groups form. There is a natural affinity amongst us to go closer to our people who belong to the same ethno-linguistic background. तो वही है कि हमारे अंदर automatically sense of belonging है, because we are able to communicate better, understand each other better. Fine. So all these issues, and for example religion we discuss as part of preamble में, जब secularism discuss करेंगे वहीं पे role of religion in Indian politics वगैरह discuss कर सकते हैं. Next, it happens to be the party system. Yes, so national, regional political parties, ideological, social basis of parties, patterns of coalition politics, है ना, कि coalition politics state level पे 1970s में शुरू हो गया था. Yes, 1967 के बाद शुरू हो गया. At the national level, it starts in 1989 around. It's fine. So we'll study all that. Pressure groups, what is the trend in electoral behavior, how people are voting, what is the basis on which we are voting, and changing socio-economic profile of the legislators, how the MPs and MLAs, उनका background क्या है, that also tells us about our politics, है ना, our government. Are they coming from the agricultural group, or are they coming from the educated class of say lawyers and CAs? Yes, or are they commoners, है ना, without any such particular educational background which gets highlighted. तो socio-economic background क्या है उन लोगों का? Yes, for example, at the time of independence, most of our MPs and MLAs happen to be lawyers. The Constituent Assembly itself was dominated by lawyers. With Green Revolution, agriculturalists का presence grew. तो उसका मतलब क्या है? Agriculturalists entering into politics. It means the agriculturalists forming political parties maybe. Yes, so you find that उनका dominance बढ़ा. और आज के दिन अभी क्या pattern चल रहा है? That we need to analyze. So socio-economic profile also tells us about who exactly is serving as our representatives. तो अगर ये हमारे representatives हैं, तो इनका policy preference खुद का क्या होगा? कोई biasness रहेगा इनमें? All that we can gauge. Yes. Fine. So this is as far as the syllabus of IGP of section B of paper 1. Yes, I have also mentioned the syllabus of polity. So you find that there is overlap. तो Indian Constitution, historical underpinnings है ना, तो यही तो हम पढ़ रहे हैं उसमें भी. Evolution, features, amendment, significant provisions, basic structure, functions and responsibilities of the union and the state. तो union government का क्या है? वही executive, legislature and judiciary है ना. The state level also similar. Issues and challenges pertaining to the federal structure. Yes, a devolution of power and finances up to the local level. तो PRIN, ULBs की बात हो गई. Separation of power between the various organs. Yes, so judiciary के पास क्या power है, legislature के पास क्या है, executive के पास क्या power है, parliamentary versus presidential form में क्या होता है ना, तो which we study in IGP also. Then the various dispute redressal mechanisms and institutions. So Lokpal, Lok Adalat, है ना, the judiciary, comparison of Indian constitutional scheme with that of other countries, which is not directly studied as part of IGP. Yes, but there is this provision which is there in syllabus, which is pointer which is there in the syllabus of polity. Though we at times जहाँ पे necessary होता है वहाँ पे we make comparison. For example, just simply that हमारे यहाँ parliamentary system है, तो हमारे यहाँ क्या setup है? What is the system of scheme of power or responsibilities that is shared between the legislature, executive and judiciary, and what will be in the presidential system as in case of US. है ना, speaker के पास क्या powers है इंडिया में, speaker के पास क्या powers है in UK, what are the conventions in India, what are the conventions in say UK. तो उस तरह से as and when secularism in India, secularism in US, secularism in France, we study as part of IGP. Fine. Then parliament and state legislatures, structure, functioning, conduct of business, power and privileges, and issues arising out of these. Structure, organization, functioning of executive and judiciary. Yes, so once again, pressure groups, formal, informal associations, their role in polity, salient features of Representation of People's Act, constitutional bodies and the statutory, regulatory, and the various quasi-judicial bodies, all those bodies that we have listed down as part of IGP would be studied over here. Yes, fine. So this is as far as, and with comparison of syllabus itself, you can see substantive overlap, and I hope the distinction that I was telling you, polity का कंटेक्स्ट कैसे हम पढ़ते हैं और आईजीपी में फोकस पार्टी सिस्टम वगैरह पे ज़्यादा है. फाइन. वन क्वेश्चन, ठीक है, कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल. I had added few questions from this year's exam, but I think so I did not save it. So जब मैंने शेयर किया वो ऐड नहीं हुआ है. बट एनीवेज चलो, कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल मोरालिटी पे देयर वाज अ क्वेश्चन इन PSIR इन 2024. कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल मोरालिटी में GS में 2021 में भी सवाल आया था और इस ईयर भी 2025 में भी GS में सवाल आया है ऑन कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल मोरालिटी. फाइन. सो यू फाइंड दैट सिमिलर areas once again needs to be discussed as part of both. Yes, so in-depth knowledge helps. Of course, while writing answers in GS और पॉल साइंस में डिफरेंस क्या होगा? पॉल साइंस में आप थिंकर्स को ज़्यादा कोट करते हैं, GS में हम थिंकर्स को कोट नहीं करते हैं. Yes, that is the difference. 2024 GS questions, 2025 also I've listed down. तो उसमें भी काफ़ी ऐसे सवाल थे. सेंटर स्टेट फाइनेंशियल रिलेशंस पे इस बार एक सवाल था. Yes, there was a question on environmental pressure groups. ठीक है, तो यहाँ पे प्रेशर ग्रुप टॉपिक है, वहाँ पे भी प्रेशर ग्रुप टॉपिक है. IGP में हम एनवायरमेंटल मूवमेंट भी पढ़ते हैं, तो हम स्पेसिफिकली एनवायरमेंटल प्रेशर ग्रुप्स पढ़ते हैं जब हम एनवायरमेंटल मूवमेंट पढ़ते हैं. यस, तो देयर वाज अ क्वेश्चन दिस टाइम इन GS2 about environmental pressure groups. Fine. Once again, you could see that overlap existing. Fine. तो इस तरह के काफ़ी सवाल रहते हैं जो once again there is the idea that I'm trying to reiterate throughout this discussion is that yes, study of each would help the other. Yes, discuss India as a secular state. Compare the secular principles of US Constitution. This was a question in GS that was asked. Yes, and I don't know how much would a GS student be able to discuss this answer, because वहाँ पे secularism जब पढ़ते हैं, वहाँ पे secularism generally, what do we mean by secularism? How India's secularism is different from the European model, yes, or the Western model. That is what we study. We do not distinguish between US model of secularism and Indian model of secularism. In fact, in the world, there are 3 models of secularism. One is Indian, one is US, and the other is France. ठीक है, तो फ्रांस का जो सेक्युलरिज्म है उसको लेसाइट सेक्युलरिज्म बुलाते हैं. वो बहुत yes, if I can just briefly tell you. Yes, the US model, Indian model, and the French model. French model, we can see it as an active hostility towards religion. It appears to be so. Yes, state, है ना, या तो एक्टिव स्टेट्स हॉस्टिलिटी टुवर्ड्स रिलीजन. स्टेट हैपन्स टू बी हॉस्टाइल. दैट मीन्स यू फाइंड दैट रिलीजन कैनॉट एंटर इनटू द पब्लिक स्फेयर. यस, है ना, रिलीजन कैनॉट डिक्टेट द पब्लिक स्फेयर. यस, बट स्टेट can at times intervene in the sphere of religion. For example, France में ban on wearing the burqas or ban on wearing the turban has been much discussed. Yes, why can state interfere in religion in that context? Because it believes in this idea of equality. Equality amongst citizens. Yes, this is very very important idea. French Revolution में, ठीक है, कि equality amongst citizens was one of the primary ideas put forth as part of the French Revolution. However, in case of US model, what happens? There is indifference. State is indifferent towards religion. Yes, state is indifferent, says religion is the private sphere, state is the public sphere. There is no intermingling, none will interfere in each other. Therefore, you find that in certain states, है ना, child marriage is legally okay because that is seen as the sphere of religion. So state is not saying that you ban child marriage. Yes, therefore, है ना, US में that kind of a relation exists between state and religion where both are indifferent towards each other. However, what is the model in case of India? We adopt the model of principled distance. I'm not discussing it in detail, so I don't know, you would not get much clarity because pura we would have had a half an hour discussion minimum to give you that clarity. But anyways, I'm just briefly telling you. However, in case of Indian model, what do we witness is this formulation of principled distance. That means equidistance nahi hai. Yes, it is not that the state adopts equidistance policy or equal policies vis-a-vis all religion, but state can intervene. State will show respect towards religion. Sarva dharma sambhavana. Every religion gets respect, and the state has the scope of intervening in religion to rid religion of evil practices, superstitious practices. For example, the sati pratha, the dowry pratha, the child marriage, and all these are legally banned in case of India. Fine. So therefore, यहाँ पे indifference नहीं है, because we wanted state to be in a position where it rids religion of the hostile practices. Yes, nor is it active hostility as is practiced in case of France. है ना, हमारे यहाँ Ganpati festival happens on the roads. Yes, all of us will dance and so there is demonstration. Religion is a way of life in case of India. So religion cannot be taken completely out of the public sphere. Religion will be present in the public sphere. We get to, if I am a Muslim, I could have worn a burqa. Nobody was stopping me. Yes, if I am a Sikh, I'll come with a turban maybe tied to my head. Yes, so you find that we do such a demonstration in public. There is no problem because religion is very much a way of life in India. So we could not adopt either of the two models as it existed in the West at the time when India got independence. Rather, we adopted our model is sui generis. तो हमारे यहाँ state is not hostile to religion because religion is a way of life. State cannot be hostile to religion, but state at the same time cannot be indifferent to religion as well. Yes, so we have Sarva Dharma Sambhavana plus principle of principled distance, policy of principled distance. Fine, so that is the idea as far as section B is concerned. And with this, I would conclude my session. Yes, the point is make the right choice and start the preparation on the right foot. And on that note, all the very best. I hope you make the right decision, the decision which works for you. Yes, so a decision might work for somebody else, but what suits you the best, make a thoughtful decision and accordingly choose the optional because it is a very important decision as far as UPSC preparation is concerned. Yes, on that note, thank you. Any doubts that you have, you may ask. मैंने बताया कि एसए में बहुत हेल्प होती है इस ऑप्शनल से बिकॉज सच इज द नेचर ऑफ द ऑप्शनल है ना दैट वी डिस्कस वेरियस आइडियाज है ना तो वो आइडियाज़ का कई बार बहुत ज़्यादा रेलेवेंस होता है, क्योंकि ये सब्जेक्ट ऐसा है, इसका डे टू डे लाइफ में बहुत रेलेवेंस हो जाता है एज फार एज सिविल सर्विसेज प्रेपरेशन इट इज़ इन दिस कंटेक्स्ट, क्योंकि यूपीएससी में जब ऐसे भी पूछ रहे हैं तो कहीं ना कहीं दैट कंटेक्स्ट कंटिन्यूज ना, तो उस हिसाब से, क्योंकि सिविल सर्वेंट हैज़ टू बी रेलेवेंट टू द डे टू डे लाइफ्स, तो इसी कंटेक्स्ट में यू फाइंड सेवरल सच एसेज. इनफैक्ट एक बार इन्होंने डायरेक्ट सवाल पूछा था, हेगल का थॉट है रियल इज रैशनल, रैशनल इज रियल. इफ आई टेल यू दिस एंड टेल यू राइट एन एसे, पहले तो इसको एक्सप्लेन करना थोड़ा मुश्किल हो जाएगा एक लेमैन के लिए, लेकिन आफ्टर अ ईयर ऑफ स्टडी मे बी यू आर इन अ पोजिशन कैन यू कैन अप्लाई योर माइंड एंड मे बी इंटरप्रेट दैट स्टेटमेंट. लेकिन आप ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा 200 शब्द लिख लोगे, 300 लिख लोगे, 400 लिख लोगे, 1200 शब्द तो नहीं लिख पाओगे. बट इफ़ यू हैव द कंटेक्स्ट दैट कि हाँ ये हेगल का स्टेटमेंट है, ये इस कंटेक्स्ट में, इसके बाद मार्क्स ने ये कहा और ये इस तरह से इवॉल्व हुआ थॉट, है ना. आई डोंट वांट यू टू राइट दैट कि हेगल का स्टेटमेंट है, हेगल ने इस कंटेक्स्ट में ये कहा, मार्क्स ने उसके बाद उसको इस तरह से रिटेलिएट किया. वी डोंट वांट दैट, but we want you to know this idea. If you know this idea, then you can apply it and go about writing the essay. Fine. So that is how the optional helps. And I think ये तो direct सवाल ही हो गया, या relevance of non-alignment in a multipolar world order were direct questions. But even if you do not look at direct questions, I gave the example of this year question, several such questions, है ना, जहाँ पे the understanding which we garner from this subject becomes quite helpful in writing the essay. Yes, so this essay pura Paul science nahi likhoge, but even if we get good understanding, if we get 600 words, which can be used from what we have studied under the optional, it becomes mighty helpful in writing the essay. That is the point. Anything else? Fine. On that note, thank you and all the very best.